Thank you for watching the freshman presentation. First off, just real quickly, make sure you know who your child's counselor is. It's based off your child's last name, so it's listed right up here. Next, I'm going to take you to the Westwood Counseling website. This is an amazing resource. The direct link is here, but if you also go to the Westwood website, right towards the top, it says counseling. Just click on it and it'll take you right here. So there are so many great resources here for you to use. So if you were to scroll down, you will see we have everything from our ACC website. We've got, if you want to see where the seniors have gone in the past for colleges, applying to college, you will spend a lot of time on this website when your child becomes at the end of junior year. Course registration is all here. Grade level presentations. This is where you can find a hard copy of this presentation plus the other grade levels as well. So if you want to see what's coming. Eventually, you're going to be looking at SAT and ACT testing for your child, NCAA, scholarships, career assessments and explorations, mental health resources, GPA, summer programs. We've got so many different things here. I cannot recommend enough spending some quality time getting familiar with this website so that way you know in years to come all the stuff that's here. So many times questions I get, I just end up directing families to the website because it's all listed here. Okay, next we're going to move on to GPA and rank. So we have two different GPAs. We have the 5.0 weighted and we've got the 4.0 unweighted. So let's start with the 5.0 weighted. This is only for our core classes and foreign language. When we talk about weighted in regards to this, if a student takes an advanced course, they get a little boost. So let's kind of go through this. If a student makes a 100 in an on-level course, they earn a perfect GPA point, 5 points out of a 5. So if they make a 90, it's 4 points out of 5. So that's your 5.0 GPA scale. Here's where the boost comes into play. So if a student takes any advanced level course, they can earn up to 6 points. So if they make a 100, they'll earn 6 points. If they make a 90, it's 5 points. So you can see right here, a 90 in advanced is the same as a 100 in on level. It's still on the 5.0 scale. They can just go up, earn up to 6 points. So every once in a while, I hear a student parent say, well, on the 6.0 scale, nope, we don't have a 6.0 scale. It's a 5.0 scale. They can just go above perfect. So if a student was to take all on-level courses and make all 100s, the perfect GPA would be 5 out of 5. If you were to take all advanced level courses and make 100s, the perfect GPA would be 6 out of 5.0. So this handout here can definitely help you when you're trying to figure this out. So if you download it, you can turn it sideways, but what it does is it shows you for advanced courses, 100 is a 6, a 99 is a 5.9, versus on level where it kind of relates. So 100 is worth 5 points, same as 90 for advanced. I'll have some people will see this and they're like, oh, well, my child should take all advanced level courses. Well, here's the thing. If you were to take all advanced level courses, could you make a 90 and everything to give you the same points? Sometimes it's better to maybe in the subjects you really love to take the advanced level courses because, you don't mind doing the homework. You'd be happy to spend more time maybe on science or math or social studies or English. And so you don't mind putting in that extra work to try to get that 100 versus if you're killing yourself to try to make above a 90 in an advanced course, that stress level might not be worth it. You might be able to make a 100 in an on-level course with a lot less stress and time. So you've got to kind of look at it all, the big picture. The 4.0 GPA is different. The 4.0 GPA is an unweighted GPA, meaning that all classes are eligible for the same point system. So on the 4.0 scale, a 100 in AP Calculus receives the exact same GPA points as 100 in PE. We know a student who made a 100 in AP Calculus did not put in the same workload as somebody that made a 100 in PE. They are not the same. So this is where the 4.0 really doesn't give an accurate representation. Also, a 100 and a 90 get the same amount of points. Again, 100 and a 90 are very different. So in the 4.0 handout we have here, you will see it doesn't matter what level course you take. A 100 is worth 4, a 90 is worth 4. So again, we don't really use this one a lot. It's mainly used for NCAA purposes for sports. That's what it's mainly used for. Next, I have a sample transcript. So when you look at this transcript, this is a great tool to help you learn how to calculate GPA. So you'll see first off, middle school does not count into GPA. Then when you look at your classes for every year, you're only looking at your core classes in your foreign language. Then it's based off the 2 semester grades. This final column means nothing because we calculate GPA at every semester and it's always cumulative. So you use the chart that tells you what grade equals how many GPA points, you add them up, and then you divide by that number. So you're doing the average. All of this is listed here for you so you can figure out what your GPA is. Sometimes students are curious, so it's always kind of nice for people to know they can calculate it whenever they want. Next, we're going to go on to endorsements versus academies. So these are 2 very different things. However, they do kind of overlap. So I'm going to try to go through and explain it to the best of my ability. So with an academy, these are optional. If a student completes a 3 to 4 elective-based sequence, they get to wear a sash at graduation. So let's click here. So, for example, if your student was taking animation for all 4 years, they would earn an Academy of Business Industry sash to wear. If they did 4 years of biomedical science, they would earn an Academy of Health Science sash to wear at graduation. That's all an academy is. An endorsement. This is something that is required for graduation. These do not receive a stole unless they're also an academy. So let me kind of show you. So, endorsements. There is a business and industry endorsement. Again, if your child completes the 4-year sequence for any of these, just like we did for an academy, they'll earn an endorsement plus an academy sash. So anything in the dark gray box, they'll earn a sash for an academy and an endorsement. Public service endorsement. So again, if they take a 4-year pathway that's in this gray box, they'll earn an endorsement and an academy. But now over in these next 2 columns, this is where you're going to see its change. So STEM. If your child completes the 4-year pathway for computer science or engineering, they're going to earn a STEM endorsement and the academy for STEM. However, if you see down here, not in the dark gray, if your child takes 5 years of math or 5 years of science, they're going to earn a STEM endorsement. This is not elective based though, so it is purely an endorsement, not an academy. So they don't get a sash for it. So, but again, remember, endorsements are what's required for graduation, and academy is purely something extra. It's purely the sash. So having 5 math credits will get your child the STEM endorsement they need to graduate. It just won't get them that extra sash. Arts and humanities. Again, any of these up here, band, art, theater, all of these courses, if you do 4 years, will get them a fine arts sash for an academy plus the endorsement. But if you scroll down here, if they do 5 social studies credits, 4 years of a foreign language, which is a lot of our kids do here for those 2 options, that'll get them a arts and humanities endorsement, which is required for graduation, but it won't get them the academy sash. And then what most of our students automatically get is the multidisciplinary endorsement. This is taking the 4 core classes, all 4 years in high school, will automatically get you the multidisciplinary endorsement. So pretty much 99% of our students get this one automatically because you have to take the 4x4 every year, your 4 core, all 4 years. Here's the thing with endorsements. You only have to have 1 to graduate. Some people think, oh, well, should I try to go for all 5? No, it's not necessary. Colleges don't look at it with the benefit of like, oh, you have 5 endorsements. We want to take you versus this person only has 1 or 2. No. Colleges don't look at endorsements or academies at all. They're purely looking, did your child graduate high school? And they will graduate high school if they have an endorsement, which again, most students will automatically get this one. Others might add on 1 or 2 more just because of the courses they took. But I always just like to cover, again, if they're not in the dark gray box, they will not get that sash at graduation. I know those sashes mean a lot for families. Next, let's look at the STAR EOC requirements. So all students before they graduate high school must pass these 5 STAR tests. So Algebra 1, English 1, English 2, Biology, and U.S. History. Algebra 1 is taken in freshman year, or your child might have taken it in middle school already. English 1 is 9th grade, English 2 is 10th grade, Biology is 9th grade, and U.S. History is in 11th grade. Okay, so what we want to do is start talking about course selection for next year. We're not picking our classes right now, but it's a good time to start thinking about how is my first 9 weeks of school going? Are my classes a little too easy? Are they a little too hard? Where is my stress level at? Could I maybe adjust some things for next year? So this is the time to start thinking about it. Even though you won't pick your courses till January, this is where it's good to start having an honest conversation with your family, decide how are things going. So just a reminder, before you graduate high school, you're going to have your 4 core, which I already covered every year. You're going to have to take 2 years of the same foreign language, 1 fine art, 1 PE class, and 7 other courses before you graduate, which is a total of 27. Again, most students are going to have more than 27 when they graduate, because if you think about it, a lot of you probably earned credits in middle school. Plus, then if you've got 8 classes all 4 years, that's 32 more credits you can earn while you're in high school. So again, most people are going to have more than 27 when they graduate. So this is where I would look like right now for English 1. Everybody's sitting in English 1 or Advanced English 1. If you're doing well in English 1 and you're like, this is the right level for me, you're going to write down in the 10th grade column, English 2. If you're in Advanced English 1 and it's the perfect level for you, you're going to write down Advanced English 2 for your 10th grade year. If Advanced English is proving to be too difficult or it's stressing you out too much, you could always make the jump down next year. Or by the end of this year, if you're like, this is too easy, I can handle more, I'm ready for it, you could make the jump. So just know these are going to be your 2 options for your 10th grade year. Next is math. Math is always the most complicated because there's so many different options. Because of elementary and middle school, everybody's kind of at different math levels. But this is going to work the same. Depending on the class you're in 9th grade is going to dictate where you're going at in 10th grade. So if you're in double block algebra 1, taking strategic learning, we're going to recommend geometry investigations. If you're in single block algebra 1, we're going to recommend geometry. If you're in regular geometry this year, we're either going to say Algebra 2 or On-Ramps College Algebra. If you're in advanced geometry, you're probably going to be looking at Advanced Algebra 2 or On-Ramps College Algebra. Algebra 2, Pre-Cal. Advanced Algebra 2, AP Pre-Cal, and so on. So that's how this is going to work. Next, if you're going on the IB pathway, most of this is similar, but there are just a couple differences and changes. You're going to look at where you're at in 9th grade, and then what should you be taking in 10th grade. So the big differences you will see is really not till unless you're a freshman in AP Pre-Cal, you'd be looking at Analysis 2 for 10th grade. But everything else is pretty much the same. Social studies. So depending on what you took in 9th grade is what you're going to take in 10th grade. So world geography, you'd be looking at world history. If you're in advanced world geography, probably looking at AP world history. If you're in the IB Prep Human Geography class, you get 2 options for next year. You can take the IB Prep US History, or you can take AP US History. So the AP one is going to give you college credit versus the IB one wouldn't. But you can choose which one you want to take. So both of those are advanced courses. Science. Okay, everybody took biology this year. So if you're in regular biology, depending on how you're doing, you're going to be moving into IPC or chemistry. Advanced biology, you're probably going to be looking at advanced chemistry. So this would be what your science year would look like. Okay, foreign language. So again, depending on what you're at, technically, if you're in Spanish 1, you would go to Spanish 2. If you're in Spanish 2 this year and you're enjoying it, please continue and keep going with more language. If you're like, no, this is as much as I can handle, you could technically be done. We also offer German, American Sign Language, and Chinese. We offer lots of courses for fine art and PE. You'll see fine art is listed over here, PE on this side. You will see for band, dance, and color guard, these 3 courses not only give you your fine art credit, but they also give you a bonus PE credit as well. So something to think about. Also, you'll notice that ROTC, which is an elective, also can count as your PE credit. So that's another neat option to get your PE credit. We have so many different academy electives that your child is welcome to take. So what I've tried to do, again, is list what is the traditional ninth grade year course, and then what would be the 10th grade. So if you're in ROTC, Aerospace Science 1, you would move on to Aerospace Science 2. If you're in Debate 1, you'd go to Debate 2. If you're in Principles of Biomed, you could go to Human Body Systems. And here are the rest of the pathways for more of our business courses. Something I will say though, so let's say your freshman year, you didn't take the 9th grade course for animation, but you wish you had. Well, you can start this as a 10th grader. So even though you didn't take it this year, you could technically pick up digital media as a 10th grader. Same thing for finance. You could take Principles of Business as a 10th grader and start the pathway and get through year 3. That is an option as well. Here are more: our engineering, robotics, computer science, and cybersecurity. Again, if you're in the 9th grade course this year, you'll write the 10th grade course. And again, if you didn't start this pathway as a 9th grader, but you want to as a 10th grader, you can go ahead and you would write down the 9th grade course for your 10th grade year. Completely fine to start it, and you'll just get through year 3. And then with our fine arts, again, if you're in the 9th grade course, you would write down the 10th grade course for next year. If you didn't start it as a freshman, you are more than welcome to start this 9th grade year, your 10th grade year. So if you want to start in Dance 1 or Jazz 1 or Modern 1, you are more than welcome to do that in 10th grade. Here's more of our fine arts, so our theaters, our tech theaters, musical, band, orchestra, choir. Again, band, orchestra, and choir, you're going to audition later on this year. So you would put, if you're in concert band or camerata orchestra, you would just put level 2. And then we would adjust after tryouts in April and May. And then if you're in a sport, you're more than welcome to, again, write the sport you're in, the year 2 of it as well. If your student was in Pathways this year as a freshman, which is a good block for getting homework done, they are more than welcome. We have a year 2, 3, and 4. They can continue that as well if they would like. So on the counseling website, I showed you where the Round Rock ISD course catalog and the virtual choice sheet, it's directly through the counseling website. When you do this, you'll click on the choice sheet. And again, this is kind of the same thing as last year when you're picking your courses. Any class you click on has a full course description for you to access. So every class on here, no matter what, if you click on it, will give you the full course description made by our teachers. So that's all great resources. The main thing I would say is make sure your schedule is balanced when thinking about next year. If you were to pick your 4 hardest classes, and by luck, they're all on the same day, would that be manageable? If it's not, then I wouldn't take those 4 courses because, again, we can never control what period every class will be. So if randomly, always pick your 4 core classes, your 4 hardest classes, and put them all on one day. Could you do it? If the answer is no, you might want to adjust. I cannot stress that enough. The next thing really that's important in the college application process is resume building. And you might be like, college applications aren't till after junior year. Why are we talking about this now? Well, the great thing about Westwood is we like to chunk up the college application process over 4 years. So that way, when junior year is finishing, we're not trying to do 4 years of work all at once because that is overwhelming. And things get missed that way. So what I would recommend is for your resume, and we even make it easy for you. We give you a sample that you click on here. Here's the big thing. You have to download it because if not, the formatting looks really weird. So let me click on it because I want to show you this. So I would really recommend you do this right now as a freshman. Go ahead and type over this with your information and make it your own. You would put in your information over here. You would put your freshman year courses, Again, eventually next year, you'll add your 10th grade, the next year, 11th and 12th. But this way, you're not later trying to remember 4 years of information. You do it as you go through it. Then the sections on the resume, and you're going to see these sections match what's eventually on your college applications. They're going to know what extracurricular activities were you involved in. These are not just Westwood activities, but this is also non-Westwood activities. So again, here's the thing. I made these up. So I'm not actually on the Sundancer drill team. So my descriptions are kind of short. A student's description should be so much longer than this because they're going to know all the stuff they've done every year they're in this. I always equate it to kind of saying, like, if you were to write band and all you wrote here as a description was trombone player, how would that make you stand out compared to all other trombone players in the country? This is where you would talk about maybe you're a section leader, you go to football games, you have summer band camp, you have before school practice, Bands of America, etc., etc. This is where you're going to write the meat of all your stuff. So this is super important. And eventually you're going to submit this to colleges. Leadership positions. Do we expect as a freshman you're the president of clubs and things? Probably not. This year you're probably just an active member, so it's going to be in your extracurricular section. But over the next 4 years, this is your way of maybe trying to take a leadership role in one activity you're involved in. That's more than enough. But colleges do want to see you have the leadership potential. You're going to want to keep up with any awards or honors you get over the next 4 years. These can be academic, these can be in different activities and clubs. You know, if the band goes to state, you would put whatever y'all's district champions or whatever your activities are here, plus individual things you get as well. Summer activities. What do you do in your summers? They want to know that you're not just sitting at home watching Netflix. So tell us what you do in the summers. Let us know. Volunteer work. What type of community service are you doing over the next 4 years? You know, if you want to be a vet someday, maybe you should be trying to volunteer at an animal shelter, at a vet's office. You know, make it meaningful so you learn something from it as well. Work experience. This could be like a real job like Taco Bell, or it could be something like pet sitting or babysitting. You know, colleges want to know that you're reliable and dependable and people can trust you and count on you. So that's what these type of soft skills are getting provided here. So again, do you need something in every section right now? No, you're a freshman. It's fine. But over the next 4 years, this can kind of guide you on what you should be doing. So that way, when you apply between junior and senior year, your resume has things on it. So I cannot stress enough. If you're looking for places to volunteer, I've got things listed here that you can do. There's the club website if you're not involved in clubs yet, but hopefully from Fishbowl, you join some clubs and you're becoming active members. So I cannot stress that enough. Okay, final few reminders. Do not get into a cycle of procrastinating. It's never going to be good in regards to classwork or anything else. Remember, 9th grade does count. I know it's a big transition from 8th to 9th grade, but you really need to do your best. I cannot stress it enough. Make sure you're staying on top of your grades. You're checking them daily in home access. Make sure you're checking your student email multiple times a day. Going to high school is your job. Just like a parent would be checking their work email multiple times a day, you as a student, that is your job, is checking your emails multiple times a day. You don't want to miss out on opportunities. You know, you're going to be getting emailed things from volunteer work to club invites, and you don't want to be missing things. And then take advantage of what your teachers have to offer you. Ask for help if you're confused. Go to tutorials, flex in. Do your homework the day it's assigned. That way you can have time to get in for help before it's due. I cannot stress it enough. Take ownership of your work and do your best.